My name is Ayesha. I'm a Senior Software Quality Assurance Engineer in Allied, and today I'm here to present you on an overview of project management. Since we all belong to software industry and we are working here at different positions, but we are handling the project on which we are working here in Allied. So basically, what is project management? A project is a measurable, definable. It has a specific time allocated to it. So we need to achieve it, and in order to achieve it in its cost, in its budget, and in its time, we need to perform certain skills. And the person who is performing all this is known as project manager, and he or she is following certain standards and criteria that are defined by the software industry in the domain of project management. So in today's presentation, we will be covering just a basic information about what is it, why it is important, what are the components, what are the phases in a project management, what are the tools and techniques which are in trend in market, and how to do it effectively. So basically, we have 5 project management phases. The project starts from the conception, then it goes with planning, then it goes with execution, then you perform monitor and control activities, and eventually you close the project. Basically, within all these phases, as simply as it is written here, it is not actually when you are performing. Every phase of a project management contains a set of detailed documents which act as an input in that phase, and then we do the processing based on those documents, and then we receive some outcomes from that particular phase. So the outcomes from one phase goes as input along with some other in the next phase, and through this all these phases are not only connected, but they also help us to deliver the project effectively and successfully. A project success is overall the success of an organization and the project manager who is working on the project most of all. So basically, why project management is important is because sometimes we are all aware of rules and regulations that different standards are defined in the market, and somehow knowingly or unknowingly we are following those standards, but still we do not know that doing them in a better way would result to achieve the project not only in time but also in defined cost and scope. So therefore, we are following every project through its phases, which are mentioned here. We can have a series of more sessions on this topic, where the project management phases are defined. Basically, according to Project Management Institute (PMI), there are about 11. There are 10 knowledge areas. They are called as process groups, or they are called as knowledge areas, or the components of project management. These are organized. This is a standard defined by the PMI that offers you also certain certifications which are recognized all over the world.
So, and this is not just specific to IT projects, this is just generic project management.
It is for generic projects, but for software industry, if you are following this, we go for PMI as a standard institute to follow those standards within our organization. Since we have the HR department, we have the procurement department, we have the admin staff here performing multiple duties, though we do not communicate with them on daily basis, but they are here in your organization for a specific purpose that they are fulfilling, just as you are here fulfilling your duties. So accumulatively on a whole, when everybody is performing his or her duties, within an organization. So that is how a company is following that standard, and it helps them to evolve in the market, as well as it helps the company to deliver its projects successfully to the business or to the clients. So the main process groups or knowledge areas have project integration management, project scope management, project time, cost, quality. The all of these are equally important in its place, and they have their own set of documents. Again, as I mentioned in the last slide, they have their own particular set of documents that you follow in a company, and then you are eventually, making sure that you are going to do this project, complete this project successfully. So within these components, the main is a three constraint theory that includes the scope, time, and cost of your project. So basically, all these are variables within the project when you are performing those, when you are following those standards or performing these activities. But particularly, scope, time, and cost are linked with each other in order to improve the quality. The theory says that in order to maintain the quality or improve the quality, whenever there is a change in scope, any of scope, time, or cost, the other two would definitely have an impact on it. So therefore, these three are particularly mentioned as three constraint theory in software industry in the market. Otherwise, the remaining are also important, but we hardly, as software engineers, we are software engineers, so we are hardly concerned with HR department process groups. What are the processes the HR is following? We are not mainly interested in it. So within the project management, we have some elements that are all interlinked, and keeping all these organized and managed, you will eventually make the project successful for your company. All of these are equally important. We have resources, where resources include all types of softwares, applications, equipments, the resources. Then we have cost and profit analysis. We have the time management, where we define the time not only for the project but also for the process within the time management knowledge area that we are following. Critical path analysis, these kind of some of the processes that we follow under this project time management knowledge area. And the scope. These are all the characteristics of a project overall. Also, a project is actually defined in terms of its achievability, it's in terms of its scope, it's in terms of its budget, and in terms of its schedule. So these are all attributes that should be achievable, that should be realistic when you are when you are proposing a project proposal or anything. So all these constraints are important to keep in mind. So basically, these are some of the famous trends that are happening in market. Even in our company, we are following the Scrum, that we all are working in sprints. We have either monthly sprints or a monthly sprint. So some other companies are following Kanban. In fact, the last company I was working before Allied, they were using the Kanban approach, where we are using here TFS on our projects. So we know that we have a task board, and all those tickets are defined for each of the resources that are working on your project. And this is how you can see every team member within your team is working on particular task. If you need to communicate with them.
A board. It's like a board where all the tasks are assigned to each.
Yes, and it's overall basically for the project manager, it's giving the overall shape or status of the project to the project manager, though the individuals are carrying their own task according to the tickets and all this, but these techniques or tools are helpful for the project manager on the whole to see the progress of the project, so that when as a project manager with due to the certain experience and skills, the project manager analyzes that how the project progress is ongoing and what could be done next in order to increase the effectivity or the performance, whatsoever the criteria you have defined in your.
In which tool you can use the scan and plan? I think is it?
It's in Trello, it's in Trello, it's in Jira, it's in even Jira.
Jira, yes.
Trello is Kanban, and if you want to like the main tool which uses Kanban is Asana. Asana uses Kanban. That's the main like to do, doing, done. That's about it. Trello you have like swim lanes and stuff, so it's a little bit more advanced. Asana is the like core tool for Kanban.
So basically we have waterfall that is not now in trend, but still it's one of the project management technique, but that is not mainly followed by many companies now, as we have studied it during our computer sciences graduation as well, that when first phase is completed, then only you progress to the second phase. So due to this kind of dependency or it's very cost. Yep. So it's not, but still some companies are following this as well. These are the tools. Within project management, the market has a good number of certifications available for all the software engineers based on their number of experiences, their interpersonal skills, their desire for the designation to be a project manager. So the top most certification is PMP certification. This is a standard per PMI. So within PMP certification, we read all those project management phases in details, and then their process groups, the 10 knowledge areas that we have seen in the previous slides. Then we have Agile Certified Practitioner. It is comparative. This PMP is recognized all over the world. It is the highly acceptable, plus it gives you in terms of benefits, it not only gives you a lot of learning experience by doing this certification, but it also helps in achieving a good number of salary in terms of monetary.
There are some certificate related to Scrum Master.
Yes, it depends from individual to individual, but these are all related to project management, where the topmost is the PMP, and then there are some other associate project management or manager. Then we have certified associate.
Who does these certifications? Like there is an authority, PMI.
PMI is the
all
one.
of these are with PMI.
Yes, all of these are accredited by PMI.
Accredited, okay.
Yes.
And who accredit or who organize that certification that you were talking about? Scrum?
Yes.
PSM. There are different organizations who are offering, I guess, 10 to 12. So different Scrum, but as Ayesha mentioned, the topmost for being a project manager is PMP certification. It's solely and solely, you can say, introduced and offered by PMI. It's a project management institute. And I just want to add one more thing. In every country, or you can say, there is a PMI chapter, like we do have in Pakistan PMI Institute. So from where we can get the certification done, and it would be recognized worldwide.
So this is the SWOT analysis for project management. The benefits are comparative far more than the weaknesses or the threats. Being a project manager or in terms of project management, some of the key strengths are that it helps in the company growth, it helps in your individual career growth, it gives you more insight towards your business knowledge. The weaknesses are the constraints that involve the funds, the development, the resources. That is a hazard to find out. Some of the opportunities are again in terms of career growth. You have high salaries, you have a lot of different domains to work on being a project manager. Then the threats are, it is really stressful. We have our project manager with us, Mr. Hassan Nasir, and we can see though his work is stressful, we all know.
He is not
and
only a
see it.
project manager.
He's the boss.
I'm developer. I'm developer.
So
Manager come developer as
one
well.
of the interpersonal skill is being technical. That is really important being a project manager. It's not like that you have worked in the field of software engineering for a couple of years.
We have
and
Ayesha
then
as a project manager.
you tend yourself to look out for this certification or towards this domain. It takes a good number of years to learn all these skills throughout your career, and once you are clear, then you go for certifications. You go or you don't go for certification, but still the certification is added value in your profile. This is the part I'm looking forward to hear from you. This is all for now. It was just a basic overview on the project management. I have spoken to my project manager as well that we may conclude more series on this topic. So to study more about the project management phases or their process groups or components. So we can have some more sessions on it. It depends if until now this thing has motivated you to be a project manager one day and do all your projects more effectively and become independent and